From childhood, we are taught to trust openly, love deeply, and express emotions freely. Kindness is seen as strength and vulnerability as courage. But in real life, especially in relationships, business, and leadership, uncontrolled emotion and excessive openness can sometimes invite exploitation. True power and stability often belong to those who practice restraint, emotional discipline, and self-control. This isn't about becoming cold, it's about understanding human psychology and using emotional awareness to maintain personal strength and influence. Why self-control matters. Human interactions are shaped less by intention and more by perception. People judge confidence, competence, and authority based on observable behavior, especially emotional responses. When individuals constantly seek approval, over-explain their struggles, or react impulsively, they often signal uncertainty. In competitive environments such as corporate workplaces, this can influence how others evaluate leadership ability or reliability. Research in organizational psychology consistently shows that emotional stability is strongly associated with perceived competence and authority. This does not mean honesty or vulnerability is inherently harmful. Rather, the context matters. Emotional expression requires trust, and trust must be earned. Sharing personal struggles with those who have not demonstrated loyalty can expose vulnerabilities that may later be used against an individual. History offers examples of leaders who understood the importance of emotional control. Political strategist Niccolò Machiavelli observed that rulers maintained authority not by emotional transparency, but by projecting stability and strength, even during crisis. Whether one agrees with his philosophy or not, the principle highlights how perception influences power. In modern life, emotional discipline functions as a form of protection. When reactions are controlled, individuals maintain authority over their own narrative instead of allowing others to shape it. The strategic value of silence. Silence is often misunderstood as passivity, but in many situations it serves as a powerful communication tool. Social psychology demonstrates that people tend to assign greater authority to those who speak selectively rather than constantly. In group settings, individuals who observe carefully and speak only when necessary often command more attention. Their words carry weight precisely because they are rare. Meanwhile, excessive talking can reduce perceived authority by revealing too much information or appearing defensive. Historical examples illustrate this dynamic. During major diplomatic negotiations of the 20th century, leaders who listened more than they spoke often gained strategic advantages. Careful observation allowed them to understand opponents' positions before responding. In everyday environments, the same principle applies. In meetings, negotiations, or personal conflicts, individuals who pause before responding demonstrate control and confidence. Silence encourages others to reveal more about themselves, their intentions, fears, or weaknesses, which provides strategic insight. Silence also creates psychological space. It prevents impulsive decisions, reduces emotional escalation, and allows rational thinking to guide behavior. The discipline of stillness. There is a critical difference between reacting and responding. Reaction is immediate and emotional. Response is deliberate and controlled. When people react impulsively to criticism, provocation, or pressure, they surrender control of the situation. Their behavior becomes predictable, making them easier to manipulate. On the other hand, composed individuals who respond thoughtfully maintain strategic advantage. Behavioral studies show that emotional regulation improves decision-making under stress. Individuals who pause before acting make more rational choices and experience fewer negative consequences. In practical terms, emotional discipline means pausing before responding to provocation, maintaining composure under pressure, choosing actions deliberately rather than impulsively. Stillness can be especially powerful during conflict. When one party remains calm while another escalates emotionally, the calm individual often gains psychological dominance. This principle applies in professional negotiations, leadership roles, and personal relationships. Stability under pressure signals confidence and discourages attempts at manipulation. Understanding, loyalty, and human motivation. Many people believe loyalty is unconditional, but social and economic behavior suggests otherwise. Human relationships are often shaped by mutual benefit, shared goals, or perceived value. Historical events demonstrate that alliances frequently shift when circumstances change. Political history is filled with examples of trusted allies turning against one another when power dynamics evolved. One famous example is the assassination of Julius Caesar, who was betrayed by individuals he trusted. Modern psychology explains this behavior through self-interest and social exchange theory. Individuals tend to maintain relationships that provide benefit or security. When circumstances change, loyalty may weaken. Recognizing this reality does not require cynicism. Instead, it encourages awareness. Strong relationships are built on mutual respect, shared values, and consistent behavior, not blind trust alone. In professional environments, competence and reliability often generate respect more effectively than emotional attachment. Individuals who provide value, maintain boundaries, and demonstrate independence tend to retain influence. Indirect power and influence. Power is not always visible. In many organizations, the most influential individuals operate quietly behind the scenes rather than seeking public recognition. Sociological research shows that informal influence networks often shape major decisions more than formal authority structures. Advisors, strategists, and decision-makers who remain outside the spotlight frequently guide outcomes without attracting attention. Operating discreetly provides several advantages: reduced scrutiny, greater strategic flexibility, protection from opposition, long-term stability. Rather than pursuing attention, influential individuals often focus on controlling processes, shaping outcomes, and maintaining access to information. This approach reflects a broader principle. Visibility can attract admiration, but it also attracts resistance. Quiet influence often proves more sustainable. Emotional independence in relationships. Emotional balance plays a crucial role in personal relationships. Healthy relationships depend on mutual respect and autonomy rather than dependency. Attachment theory suggests that individuals with strong emotional independence form more stable and satisfying relationships. They maintain personal identity, communicate boundaries clearly, and avoid excessive reliance on external validation. When one partner becomes overly dependent, imbalance can emerge. The relationship shifts from mutual connection to control dynamics, where one person holds disproportionate influence. Emotional independence involves maintaining personal identity, avoiding excessive need for validation, setting clear boundaries, choosing connection rather than requiring it. This does not mean avoiding closeness or emotional expression. Instead, it means forming relationships from strength rather than fear of loss. Emotional detachment as psychological freedom. Emotional detachment is often misunderstood as indifference. In reality, it refers to the ability to experience feelings without being controlled by them. Psychologists describe this state as emotional regulation, the capacity to observe emotions without impulsively acting on them. Individuals who develop this ability experience greater mental stability and resilience. Emotional independence allows individuals to maintain inner peace despite external circumstances, avoid manipulation through guilt or pressure, Make decisions based on reason rather than impulse. Protect personal well-being. Rather than suppressing emotion, emotional detachment creates space between feeling and action. This space enables clarity, self-control, and freedom. The strength of self-mastery. Ultimately, the central principle behind influence and stability is self-mastery. Those who control their reactions, emotions, and decisions cannot easily be manipulated by external forces. Self-mastery involves emotional awareness, strategic thinking, personal discipline, independent judgment. Individuals who cultivate these qualities demonstrate resilience in uncertain environments. They remain steady during conflict, adapt to change, and maintain control over their direction. Society often encourages constant emotional expression and external validation. Yet history, psychology, and leadership research consistently show that restraint, discipline, and strategic awareness create lasting influence. The quiet power of discipline. Caring deeply, trusting others, and seeking connection are natural human impulses. However, without emotional discipline, these qualities can expose individuals to unnecessary risk. Silence, restraint, and self-control are not signs of coldness, but expressions of awareness. They allow individuals to navigate complex social environments with clarity and confidence. True strength lies not in suppressing emotion, but in mastering it. It lies in choosing when to speak, when to act, and when to remain still. It lies in maintaining independence while forming meaningful connections. In a world driven by perception and influence, those who understand emotional control shape their own destiny. They are not governed by impulse, pressure, or external approval. They operate with intention, stability, and purpose. And in that quiet discipline, they find their greatest power. You were never meant to live on your knees, chasing approval, explaining pain, and reacting to every move. From today, you choose discipline over impulse, silence over noise, and control over chaos. If this hit you where it matters, like and subscribe, and comment the one line that described your life perfectly.